our attention to terrestrial matters would be to limit the human spirit. These are the words of Stephen Hawking, an English-born theoretical physicist, cosmologist, and a director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge, who has been the focus of attention for astrophiles all across the globe.
In this era of advanced space exploration techniques, where outer space travel refrains to be a myth, an authoritative international instrument is necessary to maintain order in the cosmic space. Space law is the body of law that governs space-related activities, including space exploration, liability for damage, weapon use, rescue efforts, environmental preservation, information sharing, new technologies, and ethics. Just like general international law, space law also comprises a variety of international agreements, treaties, conventions, and UN General Assembly resolutions, as well as rules and regulations of international organizations.
Today, we are all gathered here in this virtual platform for the 14th International Seminar on Exploring New Frontiers in Space, Law, Policy and Property Rights, conducted by Kerala Law Academy Law College in association with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies and IQAC Kerala Law Academy.
Kerala Law Academy Law College, since its inception, is a legal hippodrome by legal luminary late Dr.N.Narayanan sir in the year 1966, has always been a promoter. Yes, sir, you're audible. Has always been a promoter of avant-garde in the field of legal education, consultancy, research, and in pioneering legal reforms, at the same time being a seat of excellence in them. It goes without saying, Kerala Law Academy is always a pace setter in bringing out the untapped nuances in the dynamics of inculcating erudition with the aid of state-of-the-art methods of education, which is apposite to meet the needs of the changing times, and teachers who are adept in their respective discipline. Through this potent international seminar, we are escalating towards another milestone in the legal arena.
Extend a delightful evening to all those who are present here on this auspicious occasion. Today, we are blessed with the presence of several esteemed personalities on this virtual dais.
Before we begin our valedictory session to this cosmic event, let's spend a moment in silence to cherish the memory of our dear Narayanan sir, who is the godfather of this legacy. Thank you all.
Leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. These words are indeed true for all of us. We have Professor Haridran K, Principal, Kerala Law Academy, who was an outstanding academician and an excellent educator. From the bottom of my heart, I invite Haridran K, sir, to officially welcome our guests into this valedictory session. Sir, please.
Am I audible, Hanan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the nice words. Delightful evening to one and all present here. At the outset, I am paying the most respect and honor to our beloved founder director, our leading and guiding lamp, Dr.N.Narayanan sir. Most respected Engineer G. Levin sir, respected Professor Dr. Ricky J. Lee sir, respected Advocate Ajit Joy sir, respected Advocate Dr.N. sir, respected Professor K. Anil Kumar sir, Srimati Reshma Soman N, and all other distinguished invitees, resource persons, participants, faculty members, students, parents, non-teaching, administrative and technical staff, and also all the well-wishers of this college. As you know, we have virtually joined here to take part in the valedictory session of the 14th International Seminar on Exploring New Frontiers in Space, Law, Policy, and Property Rights, hosted by Kerala Law Academy Law College in association with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research Center, KALSAR, and Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC. Today, we are immensely blessed with the august presence of engineer G. Levin sir. Sir is a VSC scientist, PSLV and GSLV developer, and space expert. He joined the ISRO in 1983. He has been appointed as the new director of the space park, and his appointment comes as a part of the revival of space exploration and research activities in the state of Kerala. He formerly held the positions of division head, group director, and deputy director of VSSC. He was a recipient of ISRO Team Excellence Awards for PSLV development in 2008. Besides this, he has been awarded the Dalmia Hemsey Award in 2017 for outstanding contributions in the field of solid propulsion for space vehicles. He will deliver the valedictory address here on behalf of Kerala Law Academy Law College, KALSAR, and IQAC. We extend a profound and profuse welcome to you, sir, here. Professor Dr. Ricky J. Lee, Intellectual Forum Senior Research Associate, Jesus College, University of Cambridge, Principal Research Fellow, North American Space Institute. He is recognized as one of the world's leading experts in space law. He has acted for launch operators, satellite operators, regulatory agencies, and government entities around the world. He has been in legal practice for 2 decades and is admitted to practice in Australia and New Zealand. Sir has taught at Australian and overseas universities in space law, public and private international law, comparative law, international business law, commercial law, and trade law. He has published extensively with over 150 books, chapters, articles, and seminar papers to his name on space law, international law, and commercial law, including the multidisciplinary monograph law and regulations of commercial mining of minerals in outer space, published by Springer, Netherlands in 2012. He readily accepted our invitation to show his presence on this auspicious occasion, but due to some unforeseen inconvenience, he will not be able to join us today. Even in his absence, I extend a warm welcome to him. We have another eminent and prominent personality, Advocate Ajit Joy, former IPS officer. He is an advocate in the High Court of Kerala, specializing in constitutional law, criminal law, arbitration, anti-corruption, anti-trafficking, etc., etc. He is a legal advisor to a number of companies. He was formerly employed with the United Nations as country manager on drugs and crime in Indonesia, and program manager counter sea piracy in Kenya. He continues to consult for governments, the UN, and other agencies. He is a UNODC consultant on training law enforcement in India, on investigation of trafficking and other organized crime. Ajit sir was a gold medalist in his LLB course at the University of Kerala, and he is LLM from the prestigious Harvard Law School, USA. Sir will deliver address here. On behalf of the Kerala Law Academy Law College, KALSAR, and IQAC, we extend A hearty welcome to you, sir. Advocate Dr.N.Narayanan, sir, the Director, Kerala Law Academy, Law College, and Special Government Pleader, Forest High Court of Kerala, Member, Bar Council of Kerala. He is very dynamic, spirited, energetic, and a man of positive attitude and new ideas. It is indeed my pleasure to invite and warmly welcome Advocate Dr.N.Narayanan, sir, to this function. Professor K. Anil Kumar, sir, Director, Administration, Faculty and Student Affairs, Kerala Law Academy, Law College. He is a constant source of support, inspiration, and motivation. He is very active, efficient, and enthusiastic. I sincerely and cordially welcome Professor K. Anil Kumar, sir, to this function. Srimati Reshma Soman N, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, Law College. Teacher will be proposing a vote of thanks for this event. I extend a warm welcome to you, teacher, to this function. I take this opportunity to welcome all other faculty conveners, Professor Anil Kumar G, my friend, Professor Ajita Nair L, Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, Srimati Serin Elsa John, Srimati Priya Mka, and the student conveners, Gautam Vishwam, Ashwin Rajiv, Anakha S, Lakshmi V.S., Anshita Unitan, G.S. Gokul, Jyotish C.M., Sharmada Sandosh, Millennium S, and Roshini S. I also take this opportunity to extend my welcome to the student moderators, Gauri C.V. and Hanan Azhar. Last but not least, I would like to welcome all the distinguished invitees, resource persons, participants, faculty members, students, parents, non-teaching, administrative and technical staff, and also all the well-wishers who are present on this virtual platform. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm welcome. I take this opportunity to welcome you too into the ceremony as well, sir.
Thank you.
So, sometimes you have to go really high to understand how small you really are. Now, we have the presence of Mr. G11, Engineer, Project Director, Kerala Space Parks, and former Deputy Director, BSSC. He held the position of Division Head, Group Director, and Deputy Director, BSSC, Solid Propulsion and Research Entity. For his outstanding contributions in the field of solid propulsion for space vehicles, he was awarded Dalmia MC Award in 2017 and Honorary Fellowship of Indian Society of Non-Destructive Testing. With immense pleasure and joy, I welcome G11 to address the valedictory session. Sir, please. Sir, you're muted. Can you please unmute the mic, sir?
Okay. Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that nice introduction. And I think you have made a very elaborate introduction about me. Good evening to the respectful Principal, Professor Harindran, Professor Rakili in absentia, Advocate Ajit Joy, Reshma Mohan, the distinguished speakers, the faculty members, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant evening to all of you. I am really excited about the topic of today's seminar, exploring the new frontiers in space, law, policy, and property rights. Why it is exciting is essentially because of the disruptive developments happening in the space sector as of now. Every day, we are hearing new missions for the space activities, entrant of new private enterprises, and new countries venturing into the space activity. At this moment, definitely one should worry about what are all going to be the rules and regulations or laws going to enable this hectic activity in the space. We all know the entire space activity was originally initiated out of a great conflict. The Cold War initiated between the Western Bloc led by USA and the Eastern Bloc led by Soviet Union or the current Russia. Actually, immediately after the Second World War, Russia made the first beginning by sending the first artificial satellite into space using an intercontinental missile converted launch vehicle. Immediately within 2 years, I think this happened in 1956, and then by 58, America followed up with their own injection of the satellite into space. Next came the first man, Yuri Gagarin, into space. That is, undertaking a manned mission to the space. We now have the launch vehicle, the satellites, and human beings in space. Then we made a historic achievement by landing the first moon, man in moon. So the moon missions are come as a routine affair now, and presence of man on the moon surface, that also has become a major initiative by the leading countries. Parallelly, we developed several space technologies. The satellites for the communication, remote sensing, and weather forecasting, resource mapping. Several new applications have been developed. Then came the big revolution in the communication sector and broadcasting. So the number of activities taking place in the space increased a lot. And the number of countries actually involved in the space activities. So initially, it all started with the USSR, then USA came into picture, then ESA, the European Space Agency, then China, Japan, India through the Indian Space Research Organization, and latest additions are also, you are fully aware, regarding the entry of Iran, North Korea, even we have the UAE recently launching a mission to Moon. So several new countries are also getting into picture, and the activities, we have several activities like the space labs. We had the Skylab, the Solute, then we have the International Space Station worth several billions of dollars. That huge assets are also now based in the space. And also we have several high value launch vehicles. We all know about the space shuttle, India's own launch vehicles of PSLV, GSLV Mark III, the Soyuz vehicles, etc. Not only the value of these assets are going up, it is also making another risk of having the heavier objects in space. This can lead to a potential hazard to the men and properties on Earth. And the human being never stopped at this point. We have missions to Mars, Moon, Mercury, even solar missions are also undertaken. We have missions to the comets, asteroids, and deep space exploration missions. And we are also having plan to make colonies in space, Moon, and Mars. And we are in search of a planet where the living environments are conducive for human life. So that is the way the technology or the missions are progressing. We also have a recent development. The recent development being led by the private enterprises like SpaceX, Blue Origin, etc. They are taking up huge missions, and they are almost replacing the government-controlled agencies like NASA. And another latest addition is the space tourism. Space tourism activities being initiated by several agencies, as well as several countries. Even Russia also is having a space tourism project, and the SpaceX is having, Blue Origin is having. So that way, the number of institutions exploring into the space tourism also is increasing, adding to our challenges for maintaining a peaceful space. Another aspect what you have to see is the economic potential of this space sector. As per data available as on 2020, the space economy was estimated to be around $371 billion. The exciting part is the projections for the future. Several international agencies have undertaken extensive studies to predict the growth potential of the space sector. And the value is very really mind-boggling predictions are made. The Morgan Stanley prediction is around $1 trillion by 2040. 2040 is okay, actually around 18 years away. By 2020, we have to reach a minimum of $1 trillion, and the upper limit of the prediction by another agency is around $3 trillion. So the economic interest also will lead to competition, and competition will lead to some rivalry and conflicts. You have to take care of such a situation. Coming to India, till recently, the whole of space activities was under the direct control and command of ISRO under Department of Space. Now, as you know, government has opened up the space sector for the private enterprises. And the government has also formed the InSpace to act as a regulatory agency to take control of the activities of the ISRO and private enterprises, with a mandate to give maximum encouragement to the private enterprises and offer them all the required support of expert manpower, as well as the facilities developed by ISRO. So these are all great changes. That means one more aspect what you have to see is the communication sector, the revolution being brought in by Elon Musk by deploying the Starlink project. The Starlink phase 1 involves injection of around 12,000 small satellites into the low Earth orbits to provide communication linkage to the entire group. And they are also having the phase 2 of the Starlink, when the number of satellites will be enhanced to around 22. And other agencies, another agency which is working on the same scheme is the OneWeb, where their Airtel is a partner. There is another consortium known to us involving the airlines, Geo. So that means the space is going to be overcrowded. So what are the problems for us? The number of countries going to increase. Among those countries, there are a lot of ongoing conflicts happening, and there are certain countries known for some mischievous activities in the past, like Iran, North Korea, etc., who can create trouble for us. These rivalries will lead to intentional damage to the space assets of other countries or accidental damage. So these are all certain issues what will bring up. Then the economic part. More and more agencies are coming into picture to make huge profits out of this business. So the relationship with between these agencies may not be so smooth and cordial always because of the money involved. The space tourism is going to add to our complexity. One aspect is regarding the safe transportation of people and retail. How their interests will be properly taken care by rule of law. The damage potential of these heavier masses sitting on top of us in this space. And suppose it is going to come down due to certain deviations or failures in an uncontrolled way, it can come back and splash down on some critical assets of on Earth or the human bodies. So these are all going to be increasing challenging domain. Definitely, I think the conference today would have definitely helped us to understand the changing space environment and the newer challenges it is offering. And I hope the legal fraternity will be fully equipped to handle these challenging situations. As of, I don't know how far the current rules and regulations are effective enough to cope with the current changing scenario. And India, though we have we had the ISRO totally managing the entire show with the enrollment of private agencies, how their activities are going to be properly controlled or regulated. There are certain initiatives within Government of India to some framework, but how far it is going to be effective, we have to really wait and see. The international scenario with the complexity of the missions and the involvement of more and more countries and more new agencies coming to picture is another great challenge. Still a greater challenge is the communication revolution led by Elon Musk with the Starlink project. I think unless we put down some strong legal framework to control these activities, is going to be extremely difficult to survey, because this number of satellites being in orbit, it's a potential hazard for other payloads sitting in the space as well as the other missions. Because when you plan a launch of any satellite, we have to really monitor the objects in orbit which can pose a potential threat to its trajectory. So definitely it is going to be a bit more challenging, and with the speed at which the technology is developing and the speed at which people are experimenting newer things, more complex activities in space, the legal fraternity definitely required to come up with strong, enforceable rules and regulations applicable to all countries on Earth. So definitely, I think the one-day conference would have thrown some light into the newer challenges, and I wish all the participants a great future, and they are. I hope they would have all benefited by the one-day seminar. Thank you for inviting me to this program, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words.
Professor Dr. Ricky J. Lee, Intellectual Forum Senior Research Associate in University of Cambridge and Principal Research in North American Space Institute. He is a leading expert in space law and has acted for launch operators, satellite operators, regulatory agencies, and government entities all around the world. Unfortunately, Mr. Lee will not be joining us due to an unforeseen inconvenience. But in spite of his busy schedule, Mr. Lee has informed us that he will be sending us soon a video address on various nuances in the field of space law.
Now, we have the presence of Advocate Ajit Joy, former IPS and practicing advocate in High Court of Kerala. After 10 years of service in the prestigious Indian Police Service, he joined as country manager of UN Office on Drugs and Crime in Indonesia and program manager Counter-Sea Piracy in Kenya. He continues to consult for the UN and other agencies. With great respect and pride, I welcome Advocate Ajit Joy for the special address. Sir, please.
Thank you. Let me first of all thank the Principal, Professor Harindran, for the very warm welcome. Fellow panelists, Mr. G. Levin, Project Director of the Kerala Space Park, Advocate Dr.N.Narayanan, Director, Kerala Law Academy, and my friend, Ms. Professor Anil Kumar, faculty, Ms. Serin John, Assistant Professor, Ms. Reshma Soman, Assistant Professor. Dear participants, I congratulate the Kerala Law Academy, the principal, and faculty for organizing this excellent program on a topic of great relevance, that is exploring the new frontiers in space. Dear participants, what I would like to speak today is on the opportunities for lawyers in the field of space law. And I think this would be of great interest to you, because we as human beings, and we particularly as lawyers, are always looking for newer opportunities. So this is something which might be of help to all of you. Space law is a new and developing frontier. Just now, Mr. Levin spoke in great detail about the various developments that have taken place in the last 50, 60 years. In the Indian context, it was not until the greats like Dr. Homi Bhabha came on the scene and hired another legend, Vikram Sarabhai, that the Indian space program was born. India made quick and rapid progress until the untimely death of Vikram Sarabhai in 1971. Sarabhai incidentally died in the city where this program is being hosted, which is Thiruvananthapuram. Nevertheless, the Indian space program was ably shouldered by Dr. Satish Dhawan, under whom young scientists like India's former president, Dr. Kalam bloomed. Until recently, everything related to space in India was in the realm of the government. The guiding vision of India's space program was the use of space technology for solutions to the problem of the common man. Government played the key role. Indian space program no doubt flourished remarkably. It is one of the 6 largest space programs in the world. But we know that the limitation of what government by itself can do. The Space Policy 2022 of India is in its final stages of preparation or development. This policy, we understand, is going to outline how the private sector could contribute. Owning and launching a rocket and having one's own launch pad could soon become a reality in India. Indian space sector is predicted to grab a larger share of the global space economy. Mr. Levin said it will be 1 trillion by 2040. At the moment, sadly, India accounts only for 2% of the space economy. We must note that India does not have a space law yet. 44 countries in the world already have some form of space law. A combination of the space policy of 2022 and the new space law, which is also proposed or is in the pipeline, will, I'm sure, trigger the future growth of Indian space program. Presently, there are 101 startup businesses in the Indian space sector. I am told that the next set of polar launch vehicles is being manufactured not by ISRO, but jointly by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and a private company, Larsen and Toubro. This is the future. The Kerala Space Park, led by Mr. Levin and other such centers, are already preparing the ground for this boom that is likely to take place. This opening up of the space sector will open up a huge new area for lawyers. There would be the need to contract, to collaborate, to hire, to lease, insure, for claims, compensation, regulatory compliances. There is bound to be litigation, arbitration, and other dispute resolutions associated with commercial space operations. Let me now take a few moments to speak about the American experience, because as far as space is concerned, they are the model in several ways. We have a lot to learn from the global leader in the space program, the United States of America. The US space program has been facilitated and led by a series of legislations, and I have no hesitation in saying by a lot of lawyers. The Commercial Space Launch Act was enacted in 1984 to incentivize the commercial space launch industry. This act recognized the United States private sector as having the capability to develop commercial launch vehicles, orbital satellites, and operate private launch sites and services. The act also assigned the duties of overseeing and issuing of licenses, permits, and promotion of safety standards to the Department of Transportation. We in India will be doing this only now. US started this in 1984, 40 years back. Space mining. In 2015, the United States adopted the Commercial Space Launch Competitiveness Act. The act adopts provisions relating to mining operations on celestial bodies, including the moon and asteroids for US citizens. US citizens engaged in commercial recovery of an asteroid or space resource would be entitled to possess, own, transport, use, and sell such resources in accordance with the applicable law including the international obligations of the United States. Now about NASA. No discussion on space can be complete without talking of NASA. NASA was born out of the National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. That is 1 year after the USSR launched the Sputnik. NASA has actively promoted commercial space activities. For this, it has spearheaded policies, statutes, and regulations applicable to such commercial activities. NASA also has, of late, successfully promoted public-private partnership. SpaceX and orbital sciences programs are examples of this public-private partnership. Companies that have successfully demonstrated launch vehicles and cargo capsule capacities have been awarded contracts and follow on commercial contracts by NASA. NASA's agreement with these companies include terms and conditions for reasonable cost and risk sharing. NASA also used the Space Act agreements for its commercial crew program, in which it partnered with commercial companies to provide reliable and cost-effective human space transportation to and from the International Space Station ISS and low Earth orbits. There have been agreements between NASA and numerous US companies, including Boeing, SpaceX, Sierra Nevada Corporation, Blue Origin, and ULA. Funding for the development of programs has been through NASA. In comparison, of course, India has a long way to go and a lot to learn. India also, I think ISRO and all the other organizations should open up. It's not anybody's exclusive area. Spaces cannot be anybody's exclusive area. One has to cooperate and collaborate, like the way the Indian IT sector opened up. And now it is not the government that leads the IT sector, but it is totally the private initiative. Similarly, space too. After all, the resources of the government is limited. It is only the participation of the private, participation of the people who can fund such programs, and also collaboration with other countries that will help. Undoubtedly, in all this, I see a lot of work and significance for the work that lawyers do. A word about the international law. In the international law context, much work relating to outer space remains to be done, and lawyers will have to do it. In fact, the field is so new that the preambular portions of the Outer Space Treaty of 1966 notes the need to study questions relating to the most basic definitions, such as even the definition of outer space. State parties, as per the Outer Space Treaty 1966, are to bear international responsibility for all acts of government or non-government actors. But how exactly is this responsibility going to be fixed? To answer this, the concept of registry of space vehicles was brought in. States were tasked with supervision of both government and non-government activities in space, moon, or celestial bodies. The concept of launching state, the owner state, damage to third-party states or to a celestial body or a space vehicle, and even the concept of dumping in space was brought in through this Outer Space Treaty as early as 1966. Further extension of state party jurisdiction and control over astronauts, space stations, stations on the moon and celestial bodies were defined in the Outer Space Treaty. Each of these activities that we have discussed, whether it be definitions, registry, supervision, fixing of jurisdiction, launching, damages, are all areas which fall within the work area of lawyers. In 1971, the international community adopted the Liability Convention. That is the Convention on the International Liability for Damage Caused by Space Objects. Here, let me pause and say that anything of the nature of liability or damage is a welcome area for lawyers. Absolute liability was conferred as per this convention on the launching state for any damage caused on Earth and for damage caused in space based on fault. A mechanism for making claims for compensation by one state to another was laid down in this treaty, that is the Liability Convention Treaty. These claims were to be put forward through diplomatic channels. And if the claims couldn't be settled through such diplomatic means, mechanism of setting up a claims commission has been provided for. Claim commission is to consist of one representative each from the disputing states, and together they would nominate a third member. Principles of international law, equity, and justice were to be the basis for determination of compensation. So more work here for lawyers and some work for judges too. It is not just the commercial lawyers or litigating lawyers or the regulatory lawyers or the policy-making lawyers or the drafters among lawyers who have scope and space. All those public-spirited activist lawyers, NGO lawyers too have plenty of work. Public interest issues like equal access to space resources and at the same time, equal limitations to the use of space resources. Freedom for exploration and use of space and celestial bodies by all nations, upholding the common interest of all mankind in space, use of space for the common benefit of all people, and prohibition of militarization and nuclearization, issues of environment and dumping are all themes that need to be highlighted time and again. Ladies and gentlemen, who would do it better than public-spirited lawyers of the world? Thank you. And thank you once again for inviting me to this deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom.
Gratitude is a mark of a noble soul and a refined character. With that, from the bottom of my heart, I welcome Srimati Reshma Soma, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, Law College, to deliver the vote of thanks to this valedictory session. Ma'am, please.
Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving, says William Arthur, the famous American writer. A very warm good evening to one and all, respected dignitaries, faculty members, volunteers, students, and my dear participants. It is my privilege to discharge the duty of extending gratitude to all those who made this event reach its pinnacle of success, studded with the presence of esteemed personalities. Space law as a new frontier of legal knowledge had begun its blossoming in mid-20th century. Since then, many were the treaties and agreements that nurtured its growth further. Today, we share a world where a significant number of people are looking forward to a leap to outer space. Space tourism is no more a hypothesis. Inventors like Elon Musk are dreaming of spending their vacation on Mars. What sounded insane once has now become possible. Like Henry Adams says, chaos was the law of nature, order was the dream of man. It's the need of our to dream of a peaceful and just state of ours in the galactic world. To reduce the chaos to minimum, to maintain order among space powers, and authoritative framework is necessary from a legal perspective. Being an ambitious institution that always look forward of innovative developments in the legal arena, Kerala Law Academy Law College, in association with CALSER and IQAC KLA, is immensely delighted to reserve our 14th international seminar to space law strategy. I'm extremely delighted to say the inaugural section of this international seminar was blessed with the presence of eminent personalities like Honorable Mr. Justice A. Muhammad Mustaq, Judge High Court of Kerala, Professor Dr. V. Balakista Reddy, Professor Dr. Sandeep Bhatt, Dr. Renchina Kaul, Mr. Ashok GV. I take this opportunity to thank Professor Harindran K, Principal, Kerala Law Academy, a vibrant and enthusiastic person who is a constant source of support for all our events. Thank you so much, sir, for delivering the welcome address for this session. I extend my most sincere gratitude to Engineer G. Levin, sir, Kerala Space Park Project Director and former Deputy Director of VSSC, for the valedictory address. Levin, sir, has made spectacular contributions in the field of solid propulsion of space vehicles and received the Dalmia Hemsey Award for his excellence. He is also the life member of Aeronautical Society of India, Astronautical Society of India, Society of Aerospace Manufacturing Engineer. Sir has over 37 years experience in Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, Indian Space Research Organization, Department of Space, Government of India. He also has many technical publications in national, international journals and seminars. Thank you so much, sir, for showing the willingness to grace this occasion amidst your busy schedule. And it was an illuminating presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Professor Dr. Ricky J. Lee, Senior Research Associate in University of Cambridge. Professor Lee is a Principal Research Fellow in North American Space Institute and is a leading figure and unquestioned authority in the field of space law. Dr. Lee is a Fellow of the Commercial Law Association of Australia, the Australia and New Zealand College of Notaries, the International Association for the Advancement of Space Safety, and the Royal Society for Arts, Manufactures and Commerce. Dr. Lee has also published extensively over 150 books, chapters, articles, and seminar papers on space law, international law, and commercial law. Due to some unforeseen contingency, Professor Dr. Lee couldn't join us today. Even in his absence, I extend my heartfelt thanks to him for readily accepting our invitation and showing much eagerness to join us in this venture. Now, I would like to thank Advocate Ajit Joy, former IPS officer and currently leading lawyer in High Court of Kerala, for the special address. Ajit sir is an advocate practicing criminal and constitutional law in the High Court of Kerala. He is a legal advisor to a number of companies. He is a specialized arbitration counsel in the matter relating to constructions, contract, and automobile dealership. He was also the country manager of UN Office on Drugs and Crime in Indonesia and program manager, Counter Seas Piracy in Kenya. He continues to consult for the UN and other agencies. I extend my sincere gratitude to you, sir, for gracing this occasion. And it was an truly interesting presentation, sir. This 14th International Seminar, conducted by Kerala Law Academy Law College in association with Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research and IQAC, show the presence of outstanding academicians with international repute. I extend my special thanks to Professor Said Mutashar, Director, London Institute of Space Policy and Law, Professor Dr. Eligar Said, Project Manager, Professor and Educator, Aerospace and Technology Management Professional, Consultant Entrepreneur USA, Professor Rosa Diplano, Lecturer in Law, University of Leicester, UK, Professor Yunso Henry Cheng, Professor in International Law, Head Department of Law, the University of Hong Kong, for making this event reach its epitome with their presence and expertise. On behalf of Kerala Law College, Kerala Law Academy Law College, I extend my respect and vote of thanks to all the resource persons for imparting their timeless wisdom and making this seminar incredibly informative and enlightening. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the late Dr.N.Narayanan sir, founder, Kerala Law Academy, who remains a constant inspiration for us for all our events. With immense respect, I would like to extend my vote of thanks to Advocate Dr.N.Narayanan sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy, for his for always stand by us and motivate us. On behalf of the entire team, I extend my profound gratitude to him. I also express my special thanks to Professor K. Anil Kumar sir, Director, Student and Faculty Affairs, Kerala Law Academy, for being our backbone and constant source of support throughout this seminar. I also express my gratitude towards Anil Kumar ji sir, Professor, Kerala Law Academy, who always stand by us and motivate us. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of dedicated faculty conveners. I would like to sincerely thank our faculty conveners, Professor Ajita Nair L. Madam, Professor Kerala Law Academy, Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, General Secretary, Mulkot Society, Srimati Serene Elsa John, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, and Srimati Priya MK, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our organizing committee members, student conveners, and to all the co-conveners and moderators for their tireless efforts for the success of this seminar. And finally, I express my sincere thanks to the participants of this seminar from different parts of the country for making this event a grand success. Your tireless participation has helped this event reach the epitome of success. I conclude my words. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for expressing your heartfelt vote of thanks to this valedictory session. I also take this opportunity to extend my gratitude towards you too for your contribution, ma'am.
As in the words of Neil Armstrong, today we have taken one step for a man and one giant leap for mankind.
Indeed, Gauri. That's exactly what took place in today's virtual dais. We've taken yet another phenomenal step towards the advancement of space law.
With this, we have come to the end of our 14th International Seminar on exploring new frontiers in space, law, policies, and property rights.
Before we drop the curtain for this resplendent event, I request all of you to join us for the national anthem. With that, this is Hanan
Gauri.
signing off. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.